What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo. Today we're going to do a little gameplay with Roland. Thought I'd talk a little bit about this guy, guys, and some unique things about this transcendent character. Man, Roland's really awesome. Really fun character. Although you will find that he doesn't have, say, as good a survivability as someone like Kamu due to the fact that he doesn't have an HP shield. I mean, he has an HP shield when you're switching his characters, right? All the transcendent characters can do that. But whenever you're just playing with the character and you're just trying to do solos with him, you'll find that he just doesn't have it. So whenever you're facing against certain game modes where there's a depleting effect, which I'm going to show you guys two runs against the Rosetta boss and against Nozzle in Pain Cage today, where there is a depleting effect in these game modes. However, Nozzle is actually weak to fire, and luckily Roland is fire. And Roland can actually do Chaos mode against Nozzle in Ultimate Pain Cage, which is actually crazy. He can actually finish this entire game mode without using any QTEs, without using any supports, just complete solo at SS rank, which everybody can get free to play. All you gotta do is pay 2,500 black cards in the banner, you get the character, and then you can actually farm for him in this shop right here to where you can actually queue him up and get him to S rank by getting these materials, which is actually really awesome. Something that's pretty cool about the transcendent character. So instead of running through the skills because it's all in Japanese, we're actually going to jump into the training mode here. And I'll just talk a little bit about this character and how you might want to play him, guys. Now, something that's really awesome about this character is that you can bring your QTE characters in very easily. Now, I digress. We'll come back to that in a second. So the thing about Roland is he has what's called a trickery gauge at the bottom of the screen. This is his trickery gauge right here. And anytime this is filled up, you're going to have these orbs available to you, which is pretty nice. Now, something that's pretty cool about the yellow orb is that whenever this thing has it, you'll show two different icons. Each of these orbs can have two different icons. So I'll show you what I'm talking about, right? So because our trickery gauge has, it's got 1-2 meters here, we can actually hit this twice. Now, if you notice, we'll hit the red orb once, right? There's a slice, and then it actually changed into a circular orb, right? They change, right? So you have two different types of orbs here, and you have three different types of orbs in your basic attacks. Now, this attack here, your basic attack, is how you build up your trickery gauge, right? Whenever you use your basic attacks, you'll see this thing highlight, right? It highlights, but you don't see the trigger gauge building up. So what you got to do is when it highlights, boom, there you see the trigger gauge build up. And this will show three different icons here, and it does three different attacks. So on the first attack, he just does like a nice little kickback there. On the second attack, he does a nice big old slice. And then on the third one, he does an even bigger, a little bit more AoE on his skill. And you notice that the trigger gauge is built up, and now we have our orbs available. And something that's really cool, guys, is the yellow orb, whenever you hit it twice, okay, not the first time you hit it, but the second time, he actually can stun the opponent. See the stun there? Right? He does a 2-second stun. And whether he's using his signature or whether he's doing just his regular orb, the second hit twice on the yellow orb, he'll do a stun. That's actually quite nice. Now, something you might have noticed is that I'm going to go ahead and just build up my trickery gauge here. There we go. My signature's ready. Now, something you guys might notice is we're not in Matrix. We're not doing anything. These all count as 3 pings, right? More or less. So whenever I hit one of these skills, whether it's the yellow or the blue, right? Or if I have Roland in a different area and there's a character in the yellow slot, right now it's just Selena in the blue and Kamu in the yellow, these QTEs will highlight. So literally when I hit that yellow orb, look at that. I can bring in my QTE character. No matrix. I hit my blue orb. There's Selena. That's awesome. Right? I mean, it makes it easy to bring in your QTE characters because usually with a lot of characters in the game, you have to enter your matrix and enter a 1 ping that counts as a 3 ping or just do a 3 ping prior to use your QTEs. This is pretty damn cool that he does this. Now, when he does his signature, he actually will do this big AoE attack that does, a certain amount of damage. So we'll hit that. Now, this over here is your Blaze Orb, and you can see the trigger gauge is running down. The Blaze Orb does a nice amount of damage, and then you see the yellow orb, it does a stun, the red orb does a big swirl attack, and then the blue orb does these big old slashes. Really cool. Now, I can tell you guys, whenever you're in your normal form, right, whenever you don't have your signature available, the red orb will do more damage when you hit it twice. So whenever it's highlighted in that circle, right? Let me kind of build it up again. Okay. All right. So there we go. Right there. That's the skill that's going to do the most damage in his normal orbs, right? But if you just hit this orb one time, okay, if you just only have enough in your trigger gauge to hit an orb one time, the yellow orb actually does more damage than the red orb. So, so that's something really interesting to note. So whenever you're on the first orb, right, the first time that you can actually click these, where you see the X, the slash, and then the triple slash here, the yellow orb will actually do more damage. But whenever they are into the second phase, right, whenever these orbs show up twice, then the red orb will do more damage. So that is something to keep in mind. So generally when you're playing with this guy, what you want to do is you want to try to enter into the trickery gauge or try to enter into a signature. There we go. Right now, something to also note, guys, is your trickery gauge here. Right, whenever you hit your signature, that thing's going to change color and then it's going to start going down. Well, whenever you go into your matrix, it will not go down. It's like Kamu in that way, which is actually pretty damn awesome. So whenever I hit this, you see the gauge going down, but it won't go down whenever you're into your matrix, right? And you saw how fast it goes down just now, but if you was in matrix, it wouldn't. So this guy is pretty damn cool. He's got a really, really unique skill set, which is something that I can definitely appreciate, man. Roland's a lot of damn fun. Like, he's a really, really cool character, and I'm definitely having a ball with him. I'm really enjoying playing with this character. And the gameplay you guys are going to see isn't perfect because I actually know more about how to play him now than what I did whenever I did those recordings of those videos, but it's all good. You get the drift of how well he can do. So I'm just going to show you guys one run against Nozzle on Chaos, just a complete solo, no extra characters. And then I'm going to show you a run against the Rosetta boss where we're using QTEs, but he's still going to do a complete solo. I'm just going to be using the QTEs just to show them in action. So guys, let me know what you think about Roland, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GN2+7 time. The link is in the description below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody.